When I first moved in here, I was very ill. And Rudy would be doing something on the 3rd floor, and he'd come in, he'd knock on my door, and he would come in and he would say, do you need me to go to the store when I'm done today? Or do you need me to take care of anything? Do you want me to go down and get your lunch and bring it up to you? And he just went out of his way to be a good friend. And I was new here. I didn't even know anybody. And he just went out of his way to make me feel like I belonged here and I was part of the community, even though I wasn't well enough to get out into the community yet. And he always had a smile, and he was always so happy. And when we were in COVID, and he did the DJ out on the lawn for us, and he did so many small things that you didn't recognize. And I'm really going to miss him, but hopefully he's in a better place now. And God must have needed him for something.
Just loved Rudy. He was such a great man. He helped me when I needed to empty the apartment 418, and he was just a great man. He really was.
One of the things I remember most about Rudy Allene is that he was always willing to go out of his way to help people. I remember multiple times David Smart saying, I want to be more like Rudy, whether it was saying hi in the hallway, asking people how they are, or helping move furniture from my office. He was always there to lend a helping hand. He'll be very missed.
Hi. I just wanted to record some of my fondest memories of Rudy, my friend. The one that brings the smile to my face is highlighting his softer side. He'd be walking down the hallway after having his wife's little foo-foo dog groomed. And she looked so cute. And here Rudy is so big and so burly, and just this little bitty dog. It never fails to bring a smile to my face. And that's one of the things that I remember about our Rudy.
First time I met Rudy, he was a nice person, and he makes people laugh, and I enjoyed being around him. We always kid each other. And I met his wife, used to work here too. And I just hate to hear that he passed away, because he seemed to be a good personality. I wish he was still around.
Okay. I figured it out what happened to Rudy. God had a big job that he needed done. Someone that would be good and quick and do a good job. Now, who on earth could he get? Rudy could do it. He said, wait a minute, and I will go and get him. As if Rudy needed another job. Fly high, friend.
Rudy was always the man on the spot at Eaton Senior Communities. Our refrigerator went out one morning, and we called Rudy. He immediately went to the basement, brought up a new refrigerator. He helped us unload it and reload it and put it back in place. You know, Rudy was always had a bright smile on his face, and he was always a man on the spot. Rudy will always be remembered in this building as one of the best people around.
The first thing that I can remember about Rudy is when we moved in here, the first time he saw us, he called us by our first name. And I later on realized that he tried to remember everybody's name, and that way he made you feel like he was your friend.
So who does this remind you of? Every time I heard that sound, I knew it was Rudy coming down the hallway. He had so many keys on that keychain, probably about 200 of them, and we could hear him jingling all the way down the hallway. Rudy had a nice way about him. He always knew how to make people laugh. If he wasn't dancing for the residents or clowning around or showing off something new that he purchased, he would always find a way to make you laugh, and we appreciate that. Last but not least, I do think of him every day because he walked into work one day on a Friday and he said, I've got this little puppy and I can't keep it anymore. My landlord won't let me have her. And so could you keep her for me for the day? And I said, sure. She was a little Yorkie Wawa. And so her name was Maggie May, and she laid on my lap all day and the residents just loved her. So at the end of the day, he goes, I still can't take her home. I said, I'll take her home for the weekend. And she's been with us ever since. So we have your little puppy, Rudy, and we're taking good care of her. She says hello. And we miss you.
My favorite memory about Rudy was DJing the parties. He always had the best music that he wanted to do. And not only did he DJ with for the residents, he would go and dance with the residents, and their eyes would just light up. And he would get everybody out there and moving. We did a dance party where we went around the building, and he had his little speaker, and he and I would dance around and during the pandemic, and that was a lot of fun. And I always remember Rudy and his love of music.
One of my favorite memories of Rudy goes back to my first days here at Eaton. Back in those days, all of the staff had to be certified in first aid, and so new staff and those staff members that needed to recertify gathered here in the Centrum for a class. And one of the things we were learning about was how to respond when we find somebody who's down on the floor, laying down on the floor. And I got voted to be that person who was laying down on the floor. So here I am in the middle of the Centrum laying down on the floor, and Rudy walks by and he sees a person laying down in the middle of the floor. He comes running into the Centrum, says, I'm calling 911, I'm calling 911, and he runs over to find out what's going on. And I thought it just showed his heart. He truly, really lived a life that was concerned with others. To make sure they were happy and healthy and safe, and he will be missed.
Okay, I went camping one time with my kids, and my apartment was going to be, empty. But I told Phyllis, who was right across the thing from me, if I got any paper stuff, to just stuff it under the door. Anyway, I went up into my apartment, and there wasn't anything under the door, but there was a bunch of stuff over here, paper stuff. And so I went and I told Phyllis, I said, well, what happened? You know, I see that paper there, but there's none under the door. And she said, well, I saw Rudy there. So I looked Rudy up then. Cheryl, who was in 301, called Rudy and told him that there's water coming down from Bernie's apartment. Bernie must have didn't shut something off or something, and so there was water in her room. So Rudy came up into my apartment, and there was water there, but it wasn't coming from there. It was coming from above in 501. So Rudy cleaned mine all up, and when I, told him then how nice it looked and everything, why he just smiled and thought that was okay. He didn't mind doing that at all for me. So I thanked him, and that was it.
Rudy was an example for all of us. He went above and beyond for the residents, and he also went above and beyond for all of us as his colleagues. He will be sorely missed.
Hi, my beloved Doobie Dog didn't like a lot of men. In fact, he didn't like any men. When I moved to Eaton, I was walking him one day, and Rudy would come in and do a lot of things. Rudy and my dog Doobie bonded really, really well. So one day I was walking up to the dog run, and I'm allowed to say Roach, right?
Sure.
And I heard somebody yelling, Roach, Roach, because his name was Doobie. And I'm looking around, Doobie's looking around, pretty soon he started jumping up and down, acting like a maniac dog. And then I looked down here, I seen Rudy's head popping out from the shed down here. It was Rudy, so pretty soon he called him Roach again. So my dog was acting nuts, so I just let him go, and I know I'm not supposed to. And pretty soon Rudy walked him back up, and the dog was just jumping, just giving him kisses and everything. So I loved Rudy so much, he loved my dog, and my dog loved him, and he's in my prayers every day, and I don't want to cry right now. Bye.
Yeah, I just want to say something about Rudy. He was a very kind, caring person that I could remember when we would have our plant's operation team meeting. He would bring us burritos. That's how great he was, He didn't have to, but every other week he would do that for us. And I thought that was amazing. That was the greatest, I enjoyed all those burritos. They were so good. And they were from his cousin. Like I say, he was kind and caring. That's all I have to say. Miss you, Rudy.
Thanks.
Hi, I remember him very well. When we were at dances, he would dance with people, or he would hug people. And sometimes people would go up and ask him for a picture, for hugs. That's what I remember about Rudy.
All right, so my best memories of Rudy Allen were when I would see him at Red Rocks Amphitheater. One time I went with a big group of friends, and Rudy would always greet us with a smile, and we'd always say, "Hey, Rudy." And I remember this one show, we all got VIP section, and Rudy ran over to us and he threw Red Rocks hoodies at us. And it was just the funnest time. And all my friends were so happy, and then Rudy just had this huge smile on his face, and we all started chanting, Rudy, Rudy. And I think the best part about Rudy was he lived to see other people happy. So he never had to come up and, give us Red Rocks memorabilia, but that was just Rudy. He just wanted to see us smile. Rudy was just a great person, always there to make others happy, and Red Rocks is not going to be the same without him.